Welcome to Podcapers, the official podcast of a place to hang your cape. And this week, Moon Prism Power! We're talking about Sailor Moon! Cue the music! Hello there, Capers, and as I said, welcome to Podcapers, the official podcast of a place to hang your cape. My name's Scott James Merridew, and this is the show where we talk about various geek and nerd-related topics, and I'm joined each week by a very special different guest. He was here last week, he's been on before. Give it up for Mark Russell.
Ranting against Disney by moonlight, reading comics by daylight, never running from a real fight. Here's the one named Scott Merridew.
Yay! So, this may seem slightly random, Kevin. We don't talk about anime that much on the show, but we have done before. You've given us a little history of Naruto lesson, so now we're going for a history of Sailor Moon lesson, because I have watched all of 4 Sailor Moon episodes, and 4 was enough for me.
Dear, you didn't like it?
I didn't really gel with it, I'm sorry. I'm very picky when it comes to my anime. I can't get into it as easily as I can other shows. And when I do get into it, I get into it very well, and it's a very fun time for me. But when I can't, just like, no, I'm not willing to watch 100 more episodes, 90% of which is just transformation sequences, just to get to the part where it might be good.
That's a good point. I mean, it's like, the original anime is like 300 episodes long, so you probably end up throwing your head through a window at some point.
Probably like detaching my head and throwing it through a window. I mean, I know a bit about Sailor Moon just through the episodes I have watched and just vague cultural context, cultural osmosis. That's how I know like a few of the characters, and the fact that there's a talking cat. This is why I need your help, Mark. I need your help to inform me about the cultural phenomenon that is this show, because this is the show that brought anime to the general mainstream in the West, I would think.
That's pretty much true.
Because there was anime dubs before this show, and there have been anime shows that have been broadcast in America and places like that, and anime movies, but it never reached they never reached the height of popularity as they did with Sailor Moon.
No, Sailor Moon pretty much opened the floodgates for anime in the West, bringing in the golden age or the 90s of anime. Even though you and I probably didn't get into it to around circa 98.
Probably that was around the time I started watching Pokemon when I was living in Scotland when I was a kid. So yeah, it's so we owe a lot to Sailor Moon, and even though it is, at first glance, completely fucking ridiculous, I think we owe it to go over it and talk about how significant it truly is. Now, before we go any further on that, we need to talk about some other stuff, because finally got the release of the information about Phase 4 of Marvel.
Oh, okay. We'll talk about some other superheroes first.
Yeah, now, because we said we wanted to talk about it last week, but we couldn't really, because there wasn't a lot of information out yet. Ooh. But now we can, and oh my giddy gumdrops, there's a lot to talk about.
Let's just hope that the new Disney Plus thing is available in on British television.
Oh yeah, I'll just pirate it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah, so let's break it down into movies and then TV shows. So we already knew we were going to get Black Widow. Yay, I'm happy.
Yay.
Happy for that. Then we're going to get the Eternals. How much do you know about the Eternals from the comics?
Only a part that Jack Kirby made it. And they're immortal. That's about it.
I read, I think it was it Neil Gaiman? Yeah, Neil Gaiman did a run on the Eternals years and years later. And
okay.
Out of all the, big superhero teams in Marvel, they're the most obscure, I think. They're the one that, as far as I know, never gained any, massive popularity. One of them was an Avenger for a while, and I I don't know why they're doing them. But you know what? It's Marvel. I've given up questioning them. I'm not going to do that anymore.
Well, people said the same thing when Guardians of the Galaxy was made, and that's now one of the most profitable franchises in the Marvel Congress.
Yeah, because like people knew about one or two individual members of Guardians of the Galaxy, but they didn't know like the team as a whole, and now it's a major thing. And that's because here's the thing: you say people weren't quite sure why they were doing that or whether it was going to work. I was one of those people. I thought, really? You're not going to do Fantastic Four, you're not going to do X-Men, you're not going to do Defenders or Champions or fucking Power Pack even. You're going to do these guys? Why? Why would you do that? And the film's fucking amazing and I love it. There's a huge cultural phenomenon. So I'm not saying Marvel is perfect and can do no wrong. I am saying they have a habit of taking some of the smaller, more obscure stuff and transforming it into these huge things. So I'm looking forward to the Eternals, seeing what they do with that. Then we got something very interesting. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I haven't heard of this guy until now.
See, I have. I knew more about him than I did the Eternals. Shang-Chi is basically like the resident Marvel Bruce Lee. You know, he's a martial artist, but he's not really martial artist like Iron Fist is. And he's just really popular now. He's been around for years and years. Bear in mind, he came out during the time when, in the 70s, everyone was really into wuxia.
I was going to say acid.
Acid, yes, but also martial arts movies. Bruce Lee was amazing. Jackie Chan was on the horizon. And so Shang-Chi came out of that and has managed to have an enduring popularity since then. Kind of in the background, but again, this is Marvel. They take the background characters and put them in the foreground and make them excellent. And as much as I wish that this movie was Iron Fist instead, because I have a special place in my heart for Iron Fist, I'm looking forward to Shang-Chi. I'm quite excited for it, because I do like my martial arts movies. I'm getting into that again quite a bit, so it's going to be fun, I think. And also,
I agree.
It's the Legend of the Ten Rings, which is closely linked to the Mandarin. Like
Yay.
The actual Mandarin, not the Ben Kingsley Mandarin. Although, have you seen the short film Hail to the King?
Yes, I have.
So in that movie, we see Ben Kingsley's quote-unquote Mandarin, not really, in prison alongside Justin Hammer. Wow. And him being captured by the Ten Rings organization that we saw in the first MCU movie in Iron Man. And presumably, this is going to lead into that. And they didn't have to ever call back to this. They could have easily just breezed past it and we wouldn't have really cared, but they're acknowledging it and they're tying it into stuff and I'm excited.
That's the Marvel Cinematic Universe for you.
Then after
nothing is ever left to chance.
No. And then after that, we're getting Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Oh! I wonder why they're making a movie featuring a multiverse.
Could it be to bring in the X-Men, perhaps?
Possibly, or maybe even the Fantastic Four. I don't know if Point is, I think, pretty sure that that's what they're going to do. And Doctor Strange is in it, and also Scarlet Witch is going to be in it. Which is interesting, considering she's also going to be in something else, which you're getting onto in a minute. I'm looking forward to that. I was worried if they're going to leave Doctor Strange alone, but thankfully they're not. He's going to keep on going. Nothing about Captain Marvel so far. Problem is, I think they sort of wrote themselves into a corner with her, because now she's like the most uber-powerful person in the whole universe, and doesn't care about Earth, she just fucks off into outer space. So that's a thing. So Doctor Strange, but not so much Captain Marvel. But don't worry, we are getting more female representation in Thor: Love and Thunder, where Jane Foster presumably becomes Thor, which I don't quite understand. It's a name, not a title. But you know what? It's Natalie Portman wielding a hammer of thunder and lightning, so what's not to love? And it's directed by Taika Waititi again, so...
Yay!
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. And I'm glad that Chris Hemsworth was returning. Many of us thought that would be it for him, but apparently not. No Guardians of the Galaxy. Even though, well, I mean, okay, We know that Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is getting made, but apparently it's not in this upcoming phase, not in the next 2 years.
Well, I suspect that Phase 4 is going to be not just the next 2 years, it'll be an additional 3 or 4 afterwards. This is just the first part.
Good point. 'Cause
So
I doubt it's going to end with Thor: Love and Thunder, or maybe even Doctor Strange, because that would be a very short phase if it were. I've honestly given up. I've stopped thinking of these movies in phases. That's more a developmental thing. I just view them as one long continuity. You know.
Yeah, I know, I understand.
Yeah. And that's the movies we're going to be getting. But TV series now. We'd all agree the Netflix series started off well, but then they crashed and burned, and no one cares about them anymore. I have yet to even finish watching Jessica Jones Season 3 for my sins. And you know what I think caused that issue?
What's that?
Doom Patrol.
Oh, okay.
Doom Patrol killed it, because Doom Patrol had the same number of episodes, but was far more interesting, far less boring, focused on way more characters as they appeared in the comics, rather than just in a proto-developmental sort of way, and just felt much more nicely structured and balanced, and the pacing was much better. All the little problems that built up over the Netflix series are completely absent in the very first season of Doom Patrol, and to a lesser extent Titans. So they kind of showed them how to do it, and yes, Swamp Thing had problems with the fucking budget, but
And it was cancelled.
And was cancelled before the first season had even finished airing, but I think that's kind of what did it. And so now they've got all these new TV shows premiering on Disney Flix Plus Ultra whatever. And so I can only presume, considering a lot of these have big name stars from the movies, they're going to be of a much higher quality and a much more impactful. So first of all, we've got The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which I would have loved to see as a buddy movie, but instead we're getting a buddy series, which, if I remember correctly, features a Photon, aka grown-up Monica Rambeau from Captain Marvel.
What was that? No, that's WandaVision.
Oh, okay, so I confused the two. Okay, so just Falcon and Winter Soldier, and that's cool. So neither of them are becoming Captain America then. They're sticking with their personas of Falcon and Winter Soldier, presumably. Or maybe it's their journey for one of them becoming Captain America, the new one.
And they're still going to be like American Falcon and American Soldier, which they don't have the same ring to them.
Yeah. So
American Eagle?
American Eagle. I'm looking forward to that, though, because Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan had such great chemistry in the movies, and so seeing them play off each other, furthermore, would be brilliant.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got WandaVision, Scarlet Witch making an appearance yet again, with presumably the Vision. Is it a prequel taking place, while they're on the lam, like they're just tooling around Edinburgh? Or...
No, because they said that WandaVision is going to tie directly into the Doctor Strange sequel.
Right. So, maybe she goes to an alternate universe where Vision survived.
Ooh. Or maybe we could run into Ian McKellen and get him back as Magneto, because that's what we really want.
Ian McKellen's got better stuff to be doing than Magneto now.
Yeah, very well.
Why do you pick him out of all people? I mean, I like Ian McKellen, I like Magneto, but still. And so there's that, but the thing that I'm most excited about, the thing that I'm so worried is going to be bad, but I'm sure it won't be, I hope, Loki.
Yeah.
I like Loki. I like the tricksters. I like the... I mean, it's interesting because his character development of the last few movies in Thor Ragnarok and then beginning of Avengers Infinity War was sort of wiped away when he died, and now this other version has been confirmed to be the one that stole the Space Stone in the alternate time wibbly wobbly floobity. So he's kind of regressed as a character, but a TV show would give them more time to expand on the character. And now that he's centre stage, he's not just playing second banana to Thor.
Yeah. He has 2 bananas attached to his helmet.
Kind of does. I mean, well, okay, not kind of, but you could switch them out. That's the sort of thing Loki would do.
I am Loki, god of bananas. I took the time stone, now I've got a split. I said the Time Stone instead of the Space Stone. I ruined my own joke.
Yes, so that's Loki. And then we're getting something which I never expected. What if? And so, in case you didn't know, Gabe, because I'm sure you probably do, What If was basically like Marvel's version of Elseworlds, where it's just like poses a simple question: what if such and such happened instead of what actually happened? And it's been a mainstay of Marvel for years and years and years. And I'm excited to see what they're going to do with it. I sort of imagine it as like an anthology thing, taking bits out of the already done Marvel movies and just seeing what happened to varying degrees of hilarity.
Yeah, well, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. kind of already did it, didn't they, in their 4th season?
Wouldn't know, didn't see it.
In that specific episodes, they put the characters in the framework, which was a virtuality thingamajiggy, where their biggest regrets in life were reversed. But for some reason, this meant that now in this virtuality, Hydra had taken over, and all the superheroes were dead.
Of course they were. Of course they were. I
Oh,
imagine What If will be a bit more creative than that. Indeed, if you look very closely at the logo for What If, some people have pointed out there might be, hidden away in the background, an image of a Marvel zombie. Who knows? And then we're getting Hawkeye, featuring Jeremy Renner, Clint Barton, and the whole thing is going to be him handing off the mantle of Hawkeye to Kate Bishop, which I'm very much looking forward to.
I admit I do not know who Kate Bishop is, apart from being Hawkeye's successor.
Well, you basically just summed her up. I mean, she was originally in Young Avengers, and then she met up with Clint Barton, and they sort of hung out a bit, and had a pretty cool mentor-mentee relationship. She popped up several times in his solo series for a while there, and she's a pretty cool character.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's basically all we know about Phase 4. However, that's just Phase 4. However, we're also getting updates for the future beyond that, featuring the return of a beloved Marvel character who had a previous film franchise that did not go anywhere spectacular, Blade. Played by that guy who was Cottonmouth in the first season of Luke Cage. What?
Crazy, huh?
I mean, I know Mahershala Ali is a very good actor and very popular right now, as well he should be. He's very, very good at what he does. He was already in the MCU, though. It's like...
Is this a tradition for Luke Cage characters? They got to pop up in different Marvel franchises?
Has that happened?
Yeah. Mariah was the lady who called out Iron Man in Civil War, and the bloke who played Bobby Fish was in Venom.
Oh, yeah. Well, that wasn't part of the MCU, so that doesn't count. He would be very good in the role, because he's very good. However, two things. One, unless they expanded him in a significant way, the character Blade has never been particularly interesting. He's mainly been there to look cool and stylish as he kills vampires. And I think that might be slightly below the talents of Mahershala Ali. Secondly, I'm pretty sure they just cast him because he's really popular right now. I don't want to fault Marvel casting because they're very good at their casting, but I don't know whether he lobbied for the role or they approached him. But I feel like another actor might be more appropriate. And when I say another actor,
Like who?
I do not mean Wesley Snipes. You know what? I'm just gonna say it. Never cared for Wesley Snipes. Not that long. He was fine. He was absolutely fine in the role of Blade. Maybe it was the writing, maybe it was the direction. I don't know. But I just did not care at all. And I'm worried that Mahershala Ali is going to sort of ape that performance and give us a kind of boring character. And I really hope he doesn't do that. I mean, he's a good enough actor that I don't think he'll do that. like I say, there are many, many worse actors that could play this role. But I would have been kind of interested to see another actor play it. Maybe someone who's a bit less, a bit less established, because you know, on this show we're all about proper representation and providing more opportunities for people who aren't necessarily as visible as they should be on screen. And I think there's going to be a great opportunity to promote an actor who's an up-and-coming actor that maybe deserves a big break or something. I don't know, instead of this actor that is very good and will do a very good job, but is just really, really popular right now, you know?
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. I've never seen him in a role where he's not been calm, if you know what I mean. He's always been calm in the performances I've seen him in. It'd be nice to see him get a bit more aggressive and furious in his performance.
I like I said, I think he will be good. I know he will be good because, you know, it's him. he'll be good. We know he's good. So we've all seen Moonlight. Come on. So we're getting that, which I'm excited for. Then we're getting Ryan Coogler signed on to do a sequel to Black Panther, which I'm very excited about. That film is currently in development. We know we're getting Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, as I said before. I did not know this. I'm just finding this out now. Sorry, Capers. There is, in fact, a Captain Marvel sequel in development.
Oh, okay.
And Feige did confirm the film is in development at SDCC this year, so that's something. Whether or not Ms. Marvel will be in it, because I really, really want her to be in it, or in her own movie.
Me both.
I love her so much. It's a deep love. It's an all-consuming love. However, we're getting the fourth stab at the Fantastic Four film. Ironically. Yay! Wait, that's the thing, because we had the Corman version, we had the story version, we had Fan Four Stick. This is the fourth version on the big screen, and maybe 4 will do it. Fourth time's the charm.
Fingers crossed.
It's been officially announced. They're definitely going to join the MCU. So, my heart can only be broken so many times, Capers.
We can pray. Or we always have the animated series.
Reed Richards is elastic. No, we're not going to do the whole thing. To go that, upcoming. So Feige has confirmed that the studio is definitely developing films about mutants. Whether or not that will include the X-Men or not is unknown exactly. I'm hoping that Deadpool in his current appearance will make a return with Ryan Reynolds, because we did not work so hard to get Ryan Reynolds to make that movie just so we could all be wiped away due to a backroom studio deal. Okay?
I believe it's already been confirmed that Ryan Reynolds is coming over as Deadpool.
It has been confirmed.
I believe so.
Better be. Okay? Because otherwise I'm not going to be a happy bunny. We're getting a Spider-Man sequel again, taking place during Peter Parker's senior year of high school. So there's a nice trilogy of Peter Parker in school, and then hopefully we'll get more movies with him going off and doing other things out in the big wide world.
Yes.
And they've hinted, both John Watts, returning as director, and Tom Holland have hinted that Kraven the Hunter may be the main antagonist, which I'm interested in, because, you know, the most dangerous game is the spider. That was kind of a bit French at the end. I don't know what happened. And beyond that, we don't know much. There's been talk about an Ant-Man and Wasp sequel, which I really, really hope there is. Because, here's the thing. It's such an interesting lead-off from Endgame, because now Scott's daughter has grown up. And I think that's going to add an interesting... I think, like, Scott was missing for 5 years, and unlike people who blipped, it was a very different experience for him. And I'm wondering how they could go on from that, you know?
That's a very good idea. That's very good. Because if she said, because hopefully she'll become Ant-Man in her own right. I'm surprised she didn't go looking for the Ant-Man technology in the 5-year gap to see if she can become a superhero herself.
What she did in the comics, she became Stature.
Yes, that's true.
So there's that. Do we know anything beyond that?
We've got to mention that Jeffrey Wright is going to be in What If as the Watcher.
That is true, a Watu the Watcher, which I'm very, very glad that he's coming back. I am a Watu, the Watcher. I am sworn never to interfere with human beings, even though that's literally all I fucking do. I say that I'm the Watcher, and really I should be called the Interferer. I always do it, and I'm always punished for it, and there are never any consequences.
Yay! I like donuts.
Yeah, and still nothing more on New Warriors. Yeah, and that's basically all we know at this point.
Looks pretty good.
The future, once again, for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, looks very bright. As is the glittery shine of Sailor Moon's tiara.
Oh god, it's a rubbish transition.
I'm sorry, how would you transition from talking about upcoming Marvel movies to a nostalgic anime?
I don't have a clue. Maybe do a tie-in with What If being animated, and here's another animated film, show we're talking about.
Yeah. So, Sailor Moon. Now, the only thing I know about Sailor Moon, generally speaking, is that it's part of, and I don't know what this is, I just know what it's called, the magical girl genre.
Yes, the magical girl genre is considered one of the most, I suppose, beloved and profitable of genres in Japanese anime, but it also extends to the West as well, because we have a number of shows that are similar to the Japanese ones. The awesome She-Ra show. Thank you for getting me into it.
You are very welcome. We're talking about new She-Ra, not original She-Ra.
Hey, Adora. Guess who I ship?
Guess who everyone ships? Join the fucking club. We've got t-shirts.
We all ship Cadora. Cadora?
Catdora. We all ship it. We all ship it. That's the very thing. I love them so much. Yeah. And I suppose to a lesson. Here's the thing. Though. You say Magic Girl. Would the Worst Witch count in that genre?
Potentially. I don't know. It's a rather... If you want to go for a more traditional thing, then no. But if you include like a whole... If you get as loose as possible, then yes, I suppose you could include one.
Because she's literally a magic girl. So...
I don't know if classic witches count, though.
True. So what is exactly the magic girl genre about, then?
Well, the magical girl genre obviously began in Japan. It was... people say that the first version of the progenitor, I suppose, was Princess Knight by Osamu Tezuka, who also created Astro Boy and is considered the godfather of anime and manga.
Yeah, I know about him. He's the guy who did that. Also did that Metropolis anime.
Oh, yeah, that's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I do like his work. He's very good.
Yeah, and so early magical girl anime like Side of the Witch and Cutie Honey, it generally involves usually teenage girl. Sorry?
Cutie what?
Cutie Honey.
Dare I ask what that show's about?
No.
I'm getting a horrible Killer Bee flashback. Let's move on.
Most magical girl shows, you have the teenage girl or team who fight evil. There's usually an evil villain who wants to take over the world using a MacGuffin. There's a monster of the week, and as per law, non-existent law, there is a transformation sequence once per episode. At least takes up 2 minutes of time.
Yeah. Do you know what that is?
Padding?
Correct.
And budgetary. They probably should.
Well, yeah, because
padding and budget.
It's the Hanna-Barbera formula, just take one bit of animation and just do it over and over again. It fills up the time and saves you money.
It's like, when's transformation time? It's transformation time! Yay! It's transformation time!
Yeah, I mean, It's basically just to hit that part of your brain that likes the familiar at this point.
Though I do wonder, because in Sailor Moon, is like the transformation sequence like a minute and a half, 2 minutes, and what are the bad guys doing? Are they just standing there waiting for the clock to run out? I run off or kill them during. No, I don't think they've explored what happens before if you kill someone during transformation sequence.
One day there'll be an anime that subverts that expectation and actually does that, and I'll be looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Quick, while she's doing her magical striptease, stab her!
Rob the bank. Let's go. Get in the car. Let's go. Is she done yet? Nope, she's still transforming. Go, 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 go. Hey, where'd they go? They ran off while you were transforming. It took you so damn long. I've been there for 5 minutes. I only got coffee. You want anything? Oh, dear. Sailor Moon came into existence not as Sailor Moon, but as a short-lived manga series created by Naoko Takeuchi called Codename Sailor V, which was about the character who would become Sailor Venus later on. It pretty much was a setup for Sailor Moon. She was a normal schoolgirl. She met a talking cat named Artemis who gave her magic powers to fight crime. And from there, then
she went to live with her 2 aunts and get into wacky adventures with her boyfriend Harvey.
No! Wrong franchise, but similar franchise.
She's a magical girl, come on!
Okay, fine, you're for that. So then Takeuchi, I suppose, either reworked Sailor V into becoming Sailor Moon, though I think it's debatable whether or not Sailor V actually is canon to Sailor Moon or not, if you get my meaning.
Yeah, okay. It's... yeah, no, I understand, yeah.
Yeah, so Sailor Moon, the manga, debuted in 1991.
I'm sorry, debuted?
Debuted, appeared, first was published.
I think you mean debuted.
Debutanted.
No.
Debutanted.
Debut. Making their debut, not making their debut.
How do you pronounce Cool Whip?
Cool Whip, no.
Cool Whip.
Point is... Anyway, they arrived, they appeared.
Sailor Moon first appeared in 1991. Is that happy for you, Mr. Technicality?
Sure it was 1991?
It was 1991.
Okay.
I'll just double check, just in case I got it wrong there. I can slam my head into a brick wall for your amusement.
Please
yeah,
do.
1991.
Okay. Your head survives to not be slammed into a brick wall for another day.
Oh, goody. How wonderful. Thank you very much for this allowance.
Not a problem. So wait, was the manga debuted in 1991 or the anime?
It became super popular, the manga. I was like, hey, do you want to make an anime of it? Yeah, sure, why not? Make 1 season. Oh, by the way, your manga is really popular. Can we continue making it? Sure, but I'll have to write more stuff. Okay, go. So basically the manga and the anime started at the same time. And they were ongoing continuously together.
That seems like a recipe for fucking disaster.
But it worked. And Sailor Moon is now considered one of the greatest manga and anime of the history.
Okay, which leads me into my next question. Why?
I suppose because it was it emphasized girl power.
Really?
Yes.
Because I remember those first couple of episodes I watched, and they did not seem to really espouse girl power. I kind of remember the main character, Sailor Moon, being a bit of a, how can I put it nicely, fucking useless sponge.
Well, I suppose it helps to go into the premise of it, shall I?
Please do.
Okay. So it's probably better to explain the whole first arc / season 2 as a whole to get a better context of the story, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay, so our main protagonist, I'll be using Japanese names just, by the way, because the English ones are a pain in the ass. Our main protagonist is a teenager named Usagi Tsukino, who lives in Japan, as you might guess.
You mean
as you
Serena?
Said, oh, Serena, fine. Saki Serena, you could probably call her chin face and run with it. Anyway, as you described her, she's a bit of an idiot to begin with. Seems to be a tradition in magical girl shows that the main character can be a bit of a dim head.
Mm-hmm.
She's lazy. She's late for school. She's easy distracted. She's got like, I don't know. She's missing her brain basically. She's
had a brainectomy.
Yes, she's quite similar to how Buffy is in the first season of her show.
Hey, excuse me, Buffy was not dim in the first season of her show.
We'll see about that.
Wait. So, she wasn't exactly a genius, but you know what? She was confident and capable and didn't burst into tears at the first sign of a lit match.
Okay, we know Buffy's more laid back, can't be bothered to do this, girly girl out personality traits. That's more like Usagi.
Fair enough.
Okay. So Usagi meets a talking black cat named Luna, who tells Usagi that she's destined to become...
I thought you said her name was Artemis.
The two cats.
Okay.
Artemis is with Sailor Venus. We'll come back to them in a minute. Luna tells Usagi that she's destined to become a guardian of love and justice, i.e. a Sailor Scout. And she is destined to fight evil that is threatening the world. Basic save the world story.
They will combine the Navy and the Girl Guides together at last.
Hooray!
The Sailor Scout. What's a Sailor Scout?
Well, I think it's based on the fact that the Japanese high school uniforms are said to be based on those of the military. The girls wear naval uniforms, and the boys wear Air Force/Marine uniforms. And that's generally where Sailor Moon gets her name from, because it's a reference to the Japanese Sailor Fuku that the high school students wear.
Okay, so she's not actually in the Navy.
No, she's just a superhero who's a bit of a klutz. A klutzy superhero.
Okay, but they're meant to be like big cosmic guardians, right?
Which they are. Okay. I'll get to that.
Okay, but they're called big cosmic guardians that are named after the kind of uniform Japanese schoolgirls wear.
It's a Japanese thing. Just wrong with it. I don't understand it.
Oh, okay. I'm not convinced so far.
I know. I mean, what were the original Defenders in the comics avenging?
What were the original Defenders in the comics avenging?
Right, start again. What are the original Avengers in the comic books avenging, exactly?
The injustice done upon the Hulk by Loki?
Right, I suppose. She's completely useless at first to Sailor Moon, and she has to go fight the evil forces of the Dark Kingdom, or as the English dub calls it, the Negaverse. It sounds silly at all, does it?
I thought the Dark Kingdom was Disneyland.
Oh, hardy har har har.
The Negaverse. What the fuck is a Negaverse?
A universe that is negative.
So, the negative zone.
Yeah, pretty much.
So we're crossed over into Fantastic Four yet again.
Yay! That'd be a cool crossover.
Yeah. Fucking weird crossover.
So the Dark Kingdom / the Negaverse / Disneyland is led by the evil Queen Beryl, who spends all her time consulting...
Sorry, the evil Queen Belle.
Beryl.
Oh, that's worse! I was going to make a Disney reference again, but no, her name is Beryl? Beryl?
As you'll find out, all the bad guys in this have gimmicky names. So don't point questioning it.
Beryl is the name you give to, like, your aunt in the 1950s. Oh, me Aunt Beryl. Like, who would ever be intimidated by the evil Queen Beryl?
Well, this Queen Beryl has destroyed
What's next,
the entire
Empress
planet.
Sheila?
No.
Princess Margaret? Wait, there was a Princess Margaret. Oh, never mind. But she wasn't intimidating.
No, she was drunk.
Easy, wow.
Oh dear. So Queen Beryl is seeking a MacGuffin called they changed the name a lot, but it's the Silver Crystal, which will give her big powers to destroy everything.
With this Silver Crystal, I will finally complete my cosplay.
Yay! Even though she's just like Rita Repulsa. Usagi eventually teams up with the rest of her group. There are 5 members at first. Roll call! Who should go with first? Let's go with we have Sailor Mercury, who is the smart one. Would probably be the best thing to say because all of them are kind of like stereotypes, but you love them anyway. If you get what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So
I
Sailor
don't
Mercury,
get what you mean, but I'm nodding my head like I understand.
nodding. He's nodding. So Sailor Mercury is the smart one. She is very intelligent. She's the school nerd, I suppose, but she keeps to herself because everyone thinks she's a snob because she gets high grades because Japanese education system is extremely flawed. Then you have Sailor Mars, who is a Shinto priestess and has fire powers. Her personality deviates a lot. In the manga, she's quite serious and reserved, but in the anime and other adaptations, she's a bit more fiery, hot-tempered, mad about boys and snarky. She reminds me of Misty a lot from Pokemon in a way.
Oh god, is she obsessed over a broken bike as well?
No.
What was the pity?
Oh, speaking of obsession, though, that takes us to Sailor Jupiter, who is the athletic, tall, tomboyish one, and my personal favourite. I suppose her tragic backstory is not really tragic, I suppose, is that she had a crush on an older guy. He either rejected or abandoned her, and now she's kind of like, can't get over her senpai.
Oh dear.
So every time she's
Notice me, senpai!
So every time she sees another cute guy, it's like, but is he like my senpai? That sort of thing.
I'm sure that won't get irritating immediately.
Oh, it doesn't. It kind of like falls to the side after a little bit, and she's the character. Her character works quite well because she can kick ass and then go home and bake a cake out for fun. So there's a very good duality there between her tomboy side and her feminine side.
Okay, alright, fair enough.
And then we have Sailor Venus, who I've discussed previously. She at first is kind of like a solo act, and then she pops up later on to be the fifth man of the team, and she has Artemis with her. Her personality is she's the wacky one. I suppose would be the best way to do it. She's very hyper and optimistic and joyful, a bit bombastic in a way. And she's got Artemis with her, so that's the initial lineup. We get the other Sailor Scouts later on, and of course, then there is the love interest for Sailor Moon.
Oh god.
You probably know who this is. If you don't, I'll be surprised.
I do know, based on the episode I watched, and also like cultural context again, this would be Tuxedo Mask.
This would be the guy dressed like Phantom of the Opera and throws flowers at people.
I throw my begalias at you! Ha! Back off! I have hydrangeas!
Because they represent romance and passion. Look out! I've got flower power. But all he does in the show, it's really weird. He's extremely likable. Even though all he does every episode is leap in, throw a flower at someone, pulls off a couple of moves, and runs off dramatically into the night. Even though everyone knows who he is.
Okay.
Actually, no, we don't. We don't know who. Well, Usagi doesn't know who he is because in the night when Usagi is being saved by him, and he's the dashing Phantom of the Opera mysterious boyfriend type guy. In the day, he is I don't know, normal day counterpart is this annoying, obnoxious older guy who heckles Usagi all the time. And it's like, we know you're a Tuxedo Mask. Why can't Usagi figure it out? And this goes on for ages. Like, okay, we get the gag, get to the reveal.
I don't know why, but I kind of like the idea of the love interest just sort of mildly bullying the main protagonist. I don't know.
Well, when she finds out that he's Tuxedo Mask, their, I suppose, rivalry fades away and they become a bit more generic lovey-dovey type relationship.
Ugh.
So every episode, they do school stuff, monsters appear, they transform, kick their asses, Tuxedo Mask throws flowers around, runs off, and rinse and repeat.
I escaped from the flower show!
I think they did episodes where they went to a flower show. Because like it's going everywhere. They go different locations all the time in Tokyo. Usual 90s anime shenanigans, if you know what I mean. It's a lot like it's a lot like kind of like a rival to Power Rangers in terms, which we'll get to what they did to try to be like Power Rangers soon.
Oh god. Okay.
So, backstory time.
No.
Yes. So we find out that all the main characters are reincarnations of the denizens of the Moon Kingdom.
The fucking...
There was a...
Oh, they're all clangers. Okay.
Yeah, they're all clangers. Who happen to be human and not space mice. It occurred to me that Luna and Artemis, who are cats, lived on the moon, so they probably ate the clangers.
Probably, yes.
So Usagi's original identity, she was Princess Serenity of the Moon Kingdom and guardian of the silver crystal whatchamacallit thingamajiggy. And she fell she fell in love with Prince Endymion of Earth, who take 3 guesses who he is.
I'm going to guess secretly he was in fact Prince Harry.
No.
No.
Try again.
I'm going to guess it's secretly Prince Philip.
No!
Okay.
I'm gonna blow your mind.
Oh.
Prince Endymion is Tuxedo Mask.
No!
Yeah.
I've never seen that coming.
Yeah. And it turns out that they are in a endless recycling of reincarnation romance together.
Oh my god, they're fucking Hawkman and Hawkwoman.
Exactly! They were from space as well, it's even more interesting. Hawkman and Hawkgirl didn't live on the moon, did they?
Not that I'm aware of. Probably it's DC, they'll throw any shit into the page.
Yeah, so Sailor Hawkgirl and Tuxedo Hawk are reincarnated lovers and stuff, but this turns out that this will doom the Moon Kingdom because they're not supposed to know each other, and the romance is forbidden.
Why?
I don't know. They never explain it.
Why?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
Because they didn't explain it in any version of the story.
Why didn't they explain it in any version of the show or story?
I don't know. I guess maybe it's down to like the Earthlings and the Moon people aren't supposed to interact or some nonsense like that.
Why?
I don't know.
Why don't you know?
I don't know. The writer didn't write it. I don't know. I don't write the story.
Why didn't you write the story?
Because now you're just being silly now. Why didn't you write Iron Fist?
It's just like, okay, so the romance is forbidden. Okay, alright, fine, fair enough. Why?
I don't know.
Why? When has a forbidden romance ever led to anything good?
Never. Never.
The only time things work out well for the people who forbid things like that is when they don't forbid them. Or they remove the forbiddenness.
Ugh. Anyway, this is where Queen Beryl comes in, because it turns out she loved Tuxedo Mask obsessively in a totally non-stalker-esque fashion. She found out that when Princess Serenity and Endymion were together, she got mad. And cue the giant cosmic space entity who comes out of nowhere and possesses Queen Beryl and decides that it will wipe out the entirety of the Moon Kingdom.
Why does it do that?
Because it's an evil incarnation with no backstory beyond being an evil, vague incarnation, which will be a reoccurring problem in this franchise.
Why was this incredibly popular?
Because it was.
But why?
Well, I didn't grow up with it, to be honest with you, so it's kind of like a get with the times type of thing for me. Catch up type of thing.
You're supposed to know this stuff.
I'm not an officially credited historian. What do I know?
This is History of Sailor Moon.
Yes, I know.
Damn you.
Damn you all to hell.
I'm more confused than when I started.
It's about to get even more confusing.
How so?
We'll get there. Okay. When did we get to the time travel daughter from the future type story? Ugh.
The time travel daughter from the future?
Yep. That's in the second arc.
Okay.
Anyway, so Queen Beryl blows up the Moon Kingdom, and all of the characters are destined to be reincarnated on Earth, so they can stop Queen Beryl from taking over the world and getting the Silver Crystal and yakety yak yak yak. You know how this goes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Yeah. That's basically my life. Reincarnated from the Moon Kingdom. How to stop Queen Agatha.
Queen Beryl
same amount of intimidation.
Yeah, good point. So, shall we talk about the English dub?
Please, because that was the only version I watched.
Right. So, now the interesting thing is that apparently, thanks to Saban, who makes Power Rangers, were interested in getting their hands on Sailor Moon. And there was a company called Toon Makers, who apparently have never made anything, at least to my knowledge, who are going to make their own version of Sailor Moon, not using any of the original Japanese footage, which would have been a live-action / animated hybrid.
Well, that sounds like it would fucking suck.
Well, they didn't get anywhere past the pilot, thankfully, and 2 minutes worth have been leaked, I suppose, online. It looks horrible. It looks like the original She-Ra cartoon, but worse.
Well, I'm going to watch it right now. What the fuck did I just watch?
And that's why they decided to dub the original Japanese version instead.
Right, because no. We're talking about this. We're talking about this fucking thing. Because it seemed to be two things. On the one hand, it looked to be a okay-ish, vaguely She-Ra-esque looking cartoon show with a bunch of people like flying like windsurfers in space and shooting laser beams and shit. Like, that looked alright, if I'm being honest. But it was interspersed with what looked to be a bunch of mid-90s adverts for fucking, like, kids' toys.
Obviously, this was going to be an attempt, or rather rubbish attempt, to compete with Power Rangers. So obviously they were going for the live-action teenagers of attitude stuff and make their animated sequences as well.
I did not see any attitude there. I just saw, like, this random blonde American girl just sort of smile vacantly at the camera whilst bobbing her head up and down, interspersed with what looked to be, actually, in fairness, a pretty cool cartoon. And does she transform into the cartoon?
I think so. Because that first transformation sequence is clearly reversed.
Yeah, and it looks... The cartoon version of her looks significantly older.
It looks like she looks a bit like She-Ra.
Yeah, she does look a lot like She-Ra, but...
The original She-Ra.
Yeah, the original She-Ra. But that was weird. That was
very weird.
Okay, so that happened.
Rubbish.
That didn't happen, rather.
It didn't happen, thank goodness for that. So instead they decided to dub the Japanese version in the typical Americanization way that they would do in that time, and it was produced by Deke Entertainment.
You mean DIC?
Yes, DIC. We're going for this again!
Yes, we are.
We had the same argument when we did the Sonic episode.
I don't think any company would willingly call themselves Dick.
They do in their own little sing-song thing at the end of all the shows. Like, Dick! It's like, and they got a child to do it as well, so it's even worse.
Moving swiftly on. So it was DIC Entertainment, and yeah, I know what you mean. It's the kind of mentality that made them call, like, those rice balls and Pokemon cookies or something.
Oh, they did that in this show as well.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Just call it fucking rice balls.
I don't understand, because they renamed all the characters.
That I don't mind so much, because it's a lot. It's fine for a lot of adult audiences, but it's a lot to expect American audiences that might not be familiar with Japanese names to remember these very different sounding names.
Yeah, but I think the east to west translation is the same thing they did with Pokemon. You know, all the rice balls and donuts and stuff. God. Although it is quite funny now seeing how dated this is, because in an early episode, the bad guys use a cursed floppy disk as a weapon.
Oh wow!
That's how old it is.
Hey kids, if you don't know what a floppy disk is, you're making me feel old. Shut up.
So I suppose they speaking of like Sonic and He-Man, other shows, they added in those stupid PSA things at the end of the episodes.
Oh yes, Sailor Moon says, or whatever it was.
Yeah, it's mostly like I think it was like, girly stuff. Keep your friends close. Don't argue. That
Stuff
sort of
that
thing.
most kids could figure them out for themselves.
Yes, not nonsense. Like even you can learn something from a sloth. Shut up, Sonic.
That was weird. It was just
That was
weird.
very weird. Every now and again, a kid throws himself into a washing machine. When does that happen?
Never. It never happens, and it certainly didn't happen to me when I was 6.
Exactly.
Moving on. So yeah, that Western mentality. Did it improve the show, or did it make it worse, or was it exactly the same in terms of quality?
They probably made it worse, to be honest.
Yeah, thought so. And of course, no Western version of an anime would ever make the same mistake again.
Well, this one made quite a few prominent ones, involving certain characters and their sexualities.
Yes, now I did talk about this, I believe, in our when we were doing our top 10. Was it top 10? Top, however, LGBTQIA plus couples for Pride Month this year. So we talked about, it was Sailor
Uranus and Sailor Neptune.
Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune. Unless I'm remembering that wrong. Did I remembering that wrong?
No, you got them right.
Yeah.
Well done.
No, I mean, did I actually talk about them in the episode?
Yes, you did. You did extensively.
Yes, okay. Well, I can't trust my own memory. Yeah, and so I do know. In the original anime, they were a genuine romantic couple. In the American version, they were cousins.
How does that even... They made it worse.
Yeah, that... Because I imagine their actions and their dialogue was vaguely the same.
Yes, except obviously the new context in the American version is like, what's going on here then?
Mummy, why are those cousins kissing?
They're not French.
Les cousins déjà vu.
Because in the original version, Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune are a very close, lovey-dovey couple. They're very protective of each other. They're a lot more mature and older than than Sailor Moon and her group. And they're very... Because Japan doesn't have these black and white sense of, what's appropriate or not. They're a lot more open-minded and stuff in most respects.
Which is both a good thing and a bad thing.
Indeed. So Uranus.
You
and
know
Neptune
what I'm talking about.
Yes, I know. Can I carry on praising these two characters?
Tentacle hentai. Moving on.
So Uranus and Neptune are a very lovely couple. In the American version, obviously, like, no, we can't expose our children to these women who love each other very much. That's not a positive expression of good relationships at all, is it? Nope, we must therefore make them incestuous cousins. So that makes total more sense, doesn't it?
Fucking hell.
But then, they also did the same thing to the bad guys.
Wait,
who
what?
were both gay. There are two bad guys who are gay in this show.
Really?
Yes, two of the Queen Beryl's minions, Zoisite and Kunzite, are gay, and now they're in a relationship. And they decided to make one of them a woman.
How did they do that?
They just changed the voice actor, because they both look quite, what's the term I'm looking for?
Androgynous?
Androgynous. So they said, I know, let's just make one of them a woman, because then we can avoid the scary gay people. Ooh.
What are their names?
Zoisite and Kunzite.
How do you spell that?
Zoisite is Zoisite, and Kunzite is Kunzite.
Okay. Oh, so they're like minerals. Okay. Right, so I'm looking at pictures of Zoisite and Kunzite, and I mean, let's be honest, that is one pretty looking guy right there. That is two very pretty guys right there. I'm looking at a picture of them hugging whilst rose petals and love hearts swirl around them, and they're just adorable.
Oh yeah, the one thing I like about Sailor Moon is that all the characters, at least in the anime, all the characters get good characterization. They all get explored as people.
And in the original, these were two guys.
Yes, they're both gay.
That's beautiful.
They turned, I think, Zoisite, who's the shorter one, into a woman to, I guess, avoid gayness. I don't know. Stupid anyway.
Basically, yeah, and
Stupid.
very, very stupid.
Which probably would have been worse because there's other characters in the show who are gay and, you know, a bit more androgynous. So it's a good thing they stopped dubbing the show after the 3rd season.
Oh, so there's a whole even more seasons of the anime that just never got a release in the US, at least in English.
Yeah, because I guess the backlash from the Japanese audience was quite. They didn't like what they were doing with the American version. You know, the whole syndication, slotting times, trading things out for sports, no more programs. The ratings were rubbish. So eventually just said, right, the hell, let's just can it. And didn't continue the dub until, well, I think a couple of years ago, they finally Viz Media got around to actually dubbing it uncensored.
Oh, so there is actually an English version for people who want a good version.
Yes, that's true.
And how does this new version compare to the old one?
Well, I've watched only a couple of episodes, but it's flat out straight adaptation. No American names, no censoring of relationships. It's straight out normal dub now.
So is the main character less annoying?
It's Asagi. It's a bit. Asagi does mature as a character a lot more. By the end of it, she's no longer the stupid crybaby. She's a lot more mature now. So I suppose yes. So the answer is yes. She's not so annoying now.
Hooray!
Hooray! So, do you want me to whiz through the rest of the story arcs?
Yeah, give me a bit of an overview of the kind of things we can expect. So, what's the first story arc?
First story arc is the first one I mentioned with a Queen Beryl and the Silver Crystal and the preposterous reincarnation romance stuff.
Okay.
The second one, that's where things go crazy. Usagi and Tuxedo Mask's daughter from the future appears.
Okay.
Or rather, the daughter of their future reincarnation, because because reincarnation and time travel and nonsense. She wants the Silver Crystal to go forwards in time to stop her kingdom and family from being hurt by the evil Black Moon Clan, who are evil. All these characters are evil for the sake of being evil.
So I can only assume that they just give her the Silver Crystal and have done with it.
No, it's more complicated than that.
Why?
They go to the future to find out what's going on, and because if they give her the crystal in the past, it'll alter the timeline, time travel, yada, 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 yada. I'll give them credit. The main bad guy in this arc is the personified soul, I suppose, of the 10th planet, Nemesis.
There's a 10th planet?
Well, you know how the people say, oh, there's 10 planets, and I suppose there's 8 planets now. But you know how they used to say, oh, the planet X and Nemesis, we're all gonna die when the 10th planet appears. He's the personification of that.
They do?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, did not know that. Fuck.
Oh, we also meet Sailor Pluto.
Okay, I can. I bet she's the worst one.
No, actually, she controls time.
Oh shit! Oh.
She's kind of stuck in her own little limbo place where she guards time, and eventually she dies because it's her future version. So she dies. Don't ask me how she dies in the future and then pops up in the present. I guess it's reincarnation stuff because the characters keep getting reincarnated over and over and over again.
Okay, wait. So hang on, wait a second. So Sailor Pluto, Sailor Jupiter, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Uranus, Neptune, blah 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 blah. But the leader is Sailor Moon.
Yes, because she originated from. Because in the backstory, she is the princess of the Moon Kingdom, and all the other planet guardians serve her for some reason.
But they're not called Sailor Planets. They're just,
no.
Or Sailor Gas Giant or whatever.
No.
Yeah. Is there a Sailor Saturn?
Yes, Sailor Saturn comes up next. She is awesome.
Oh, okay.
We'll get in the third arc. A bunch of, I suppose, evil scientists are the correct term. They wish to do evil things, the usual stuff. Their things a bit more vague. They want to create a new species of creature called, what is it? I can't my. Blah blah blah. The Germatoids. I think they're called the Germatoids.
The Germatoids.
I know it's straight. I probably got it wrong. There's they have each villain has the generic evil henchman doohickeys. I probably got the name wrong.
I'm sure it's not like Geminites or whatever.
No, it's not Geminites.
It's Germanites.
Germatoids or something like that.
Okay, Germatoids.
Yes,
I'm just thinking like Steven Universe of the Crystal Gems.
I think Steven Universe took some inspiration from Sailor Moon as well.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's nice. So anyway,
speaking of, he's getting a movie.
Oh, congratulations, hooray. Good for him. So, Sailor Uranus, Neptune, and the present-day version of Sailor Pluto all show up, and they say that this evil threat from the evil scientists, who, by the way, are called the Deathbusters.
Who you gonna call? Deathbusters!
Deathbusters!
Do not sue us because we changed the fucking name. Do not sue us because we changed the fucking name.
So Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto arrive to stop these scientists from doing the evil thing because they believe that the chaos they're causing will bring about Sailor Saturn, who is the guardian of destruction and rebirth.
Oh.
She's basically the end of the world.
Funny enough, that was my nickname in school.
Did you wield a giant scythe run around with a miniskirt, though?
Only on weekends.
Very well, then. So, we learn that Sailor Saturn has also been reincarnated on Earth, and by pure coincidence, she is the daughter of the bad guy's leader.
Okay.
Who is befriended by Sailor Moon's daughter, who came back from the future to hang out with her mother-to-be, so to speak.
My head hurts.
I know. So Sailor Saturn is actually the unknowing host of an alien parasite called... The name's getting weirder and weirder. This evil bad guy is called Mistress Nine. He wants to bring about her evil, generic space cosmic overlord, Pharaoh 90, from his dimension into our dimension to consume it, because bad guys and their motives.
I'm getting bored and confused.
So stuff happens, then Sailor Saturn finally reawakens her memories, transforms into her badass scythe-wielding self, and is about to bring about the end of the world, because we find out that actually it wasn't Queen Beryl who destroyed the Moon Kingdom, it was Sailor Saturn who destroyed it. Because it's her duty to bring about the end of one cycle and start a new one.
It's time for retcons! Dun, 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 dun.
Test your might. So, in the end, Usagi steps in, tells Sailor Saturn she doesn't have to do it. They blow up the bad guys, and Sailor Saturn instead gets reincarnated again as a baby, which Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto decide to take care of until she is old enough to
destroy the world again.
Potentially, but I think they kind of like, oh, well, she's not going to do that anymore. Why not? Because we say so. Okay, fine. Sure. Bye-bye. Bye, Sailor Saturn. See you later.
We'll raise her not to destroy the Earth. That'll work.
Exactly.
You're going to have a lot of recycling in your future, little one.
What's recycling? You'll find out. Global warming's going to be fun. So, in the fourth
Hang on. Wait a minute. So there's a Sailor Moon, Sailor Jupiter, Sailor Mercury, blah-de-blah-de-blah-de-blah. Where's Sailor Earth?
Oh, about that. They don't explain it, but for some reason there isn't a sailor for Sailor Earth. Instead, Tuxedo Mask stands in as the Earth representative for some reason, because he was the leader of Earth during the Moon Kingdom era, I guess.
He's the only guy one.
But he has no superpowers. He just runs around in his cape throwing flowers at everybody.
Aha! Flowers, roses, lilies, daisies, sunflowers.
Actually, that's another thing. The Sailor Scouts, they can just transform. He actually presumably has to get dressed in slow motion.
Oh shit, where's my hat? Oh god, I didn't iron my cape. I'll have to do. I'm on my way! Oh god, I hope there's an all-night florist open.
And then has to run around in the... you think, like, what's the story of the guy with the cape and the hat running around Tokyo? Who knows? It's Tokyo. But he has to run. He doesn't have a car or anything, so presumably he runs around on foot.
Quickly, to the tuxedo moped!
Tuxedo! So, the fourth arc's a bit cut and dry. It's about an evil circus from space.
What? Okay. I honestly, nothing could have prepared me for you saying evil circus in space just now. I could not in my wildest imagination have guessed that that was what you were going to say. An evil circus from space. Dear fucking God.
Not much of a circus, though.
Oh.
Their things a bit more generic, vague. They're led by an evil queen called Queen Nelahina, or Nehelen. It's the evil queen from Snow White. She's the evil queen from Snow White. She's obsessed with her look. She wants to get the silver crystal or the golden crystal or something from the dream world in order to maintain her beauty forever, because she wants to be loved and she hates sympathy or something like that. You know, admittedly, she's the most interesting villain in the show, but her backstory keeps changing all the time. Chiba Ursa meets Helios, who's the guardian of the dream world and appears as a Pegasus. That's weird.
Wouldn't that be Helios?
Yes, Helios, who again is the guy in the dream world. He turns into a Pegasus for some reason. It's all very trivial, you know. They introduce new characters called the Amazon Quartet, who, in the manga, they are destined to become Sailor Scouts. But that doesn't happen in the anime, so I don't know different canonicity and stuff like that.
I thought they already had the Sailor Scouts because they were being reincarnated.
Yeah, I don't know how that works, because they're not mentioned beforehand. So it's like, oh, by the way, these are the new Sailor Scouts. They're going to be Sailor Scouts at some point in the future. Hooray. Like, okay, fine. Then we get on to the fifth and final arc, and you'll be glad that the original American anime dub stopped, because in this final arc we meet three new characters called the Sailor Starlights, who first are introduced as men, but when they transform, they become women.
Okay.
So, would these characters count as transgender if they're changing their sex during transformation?
Depends if they're gender fluid or not. I'm looking at a picture of them, and I'm confused on many levels.
They're very androgynous, so you can't really tell if they're male or female. But I suspect if the original dub had got to this point, they would have just made them women straight out. Because they're men when they're normal, and they're women when they transform into magical girls.
Okay.
So let's just run with that.
They are what they are.
They are what they are, and be proud of what they are. So the big bad of the final arc is Sailor Galaxia, who she's weird. They change her motives between the manga and the anime. She's the host or the servant of chaos, the embodiment of evil in the universe, and the puppet master behind everything that's happened before. She kills everybody, apart from Usagi, because of course Usagi survives. A new character called Chibi, who is apparently perhaps the personification of Usagi and Tuxedo Mask's love, or is an embodiment of the most powerful Sailor Guardian in the world, or is from the future, or is actually Sailor Galaxia's good side. They keep changing it makes no sense. She gives Usagi the power she needs to defeat Sailor Galaxia and defeat Chaos, and she brings everybody back from the dead, and they all live happily after, and she and Tuxedo Mask get married.
Is that the end?
Yes.
Hooray!
I'm probably doing a terrible job of explaining it to you.
Honestly, I'd far rather you explain it to me than me have to watch this shit. Dear God. I mean, maybe it's bad. Maybe I just don't understand it. But dear God, this is the thing I want to ask. Why was this so successful when it appears to be so confusing and weird?
I suppose because it embodies girl power and supports the ideas of that love and friendship and being able to keep optimism alive and hope and being proud of who you are in this world.
Oh, well, that makes a lot of sense.
It supports the idea that women and girls don't have to be fragile. They can be strong and powerful. And even though Saki does rely a lot on Tuxedo Mask to save her, she evolves as a character to become a stronger, more confident, and independent woman who will stand against what she feels is wrong and to protect those who are dear to her.
Okay. All right,
Hey.
then. Maybe we just don't get it, but I get why other people get it.
Yeah, because I've been watching the magical girl genre for a long time now, both American and Japanese shows. I didn't watch Sailor Moon until about maybe 5 years ago. I watched a few others in my time, but I suppose because this was the big one, the big anime of the 1990s. It introduced a lot of people to new concepts of storytelling, but also ideas that they can, especially women, they can choose to be who they want to be and don't have to submit to a patriarchal regime.
Yeah. They can just submit to a matriarchal regime under Queen Beryl. I would just laugh in her face. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's like being presented with, and here we have King Derek. Like, I can't take that man seriously. I can take Derek seriously. I might even be able to take Beryl seriously. Queen Beryl, no. King Derek, no. It's not going to happen. And so that was why it was so popular with people. What effect did it have on anime in general?
Well, it was, as I said before, Sailor Moon opened the floodgates for American audiences, Western audiences, to embrace this wacky new. What's this? It's from Japan. There are more of them? Let's go watch all these wacky shows. They're kind of awesome. Isn't Japan amazing?
Okay, yeah. And so, what other shows followed it?
In the genre or shows in specific?
No, in the genre, obviously. Why would I? Yeah, in the genre.
I grew up with 3 specific Japanese magical girl shows. My personal favorite, Cardcaptor Sakura, the environmental message-friendly Tokyo Mew Mew, and this soul-destroying, quite literally, Puella Magi Madoka Magica.
Cruella Mother Magica Mer?
I just call it Madoka because that's the name of the main character in that show.
Okay.
Do you want me to go into a bit more specific details about them?
Nah.
Yeah, okay, fine. And of course, Sailor Moon had its impact on the Western shows as well, because a lot of people think that apparently Joss Whedon took a lot of inspiration for Buffy from Sailor Moon. If you look at the first season of both shows, there are some similarities.
In that they both have a girl fighting evil in high school.
Yeah, and they've got a mysterious boyfriend and a very stressed out mentor.
Wait, who's Sailor Moon's stressed out mentor?
Characters' friends actually have super... Luna the cat.
The cat stressed out?
Yeah, she's like, for God's sake, Usagi, just go fight the bad guys, stop crying!
Oh, that poor cat. Oh, God.
Oh, dear.
Okay, so yeah, so that's a big issue, and its popularity continues on to this day.
Indeed, because there's been, apart from the anime, there was the live-action TV drama series, which is basically has the same budget as Power Rangers.
Oh, dear.
So if you watch a Super
Wait,
Sentai...
when you say Power Rangers, do you mean Power Rangers or Super Sentai?
Well, both, kind of, because they didn't dub it in America, so it is probably more akin to Super Sentai than it is to Power Rangers.
Okay.
Even though it's about high school students, they do shenanigans. They have tons of montages. Like, once an episode, if there's not a transformation sequence, they have a montage of them doing something. It's shopping, or rollerblading, or doing karaoke, or something like that.
That's why it's called a montage. Montage!
They do montage or montages. So, actually, what I like about is that the bad guys are really well explored in this. They all have their own different personalities and stuff, because even in the anime and the manga, the initial bad guys are all very generic. Fight the bad guys, good guys go die type of thing. In the anime, they expanded the Nephrite Zoisite and all that, they have their own really good personalities in both the anime and the live action show. As I said, you've got damn it, I've got the names already. Zoisite and Kunzite, but you also had Nephrite and Jedi. I know the wacky names.
One of them's called Jedi.
Jedi.
I'm gonna call him Jedi.
Believe me, I've seen the jokes. And
better name them Beryl.
Good point. Small budget. Oh my god, with Luna. Obviously, she's a cat. They can't get a cat to stay still in the live action show, so they replaced her with a plushie.
Okay.
Luna is in the live action version. Luna is a plushie with swappable expressionable eyes, and occasionally they make her CGI, which looks a bit dated, frankly. And they had to do the same thing to Artemis as well. But then they said, "Oh, I know, this is getting silly. Let's just give Luna the ability to turn into a magical girl every now and again." So that worked.
So they turned the cat human?
Yeah. On back and forth.
Okay.
That works, I suppose.
It's not the weirdest thing I've heard today.
It's magic. You just run with it.
Oh, ho, ho, it's magic. Anyway, and so what further have we gotten from it?
Then they're currently in the process of doing the new version of the anime, Sailor Moon Crystal, which I've reviewed on the website previously.
Which website?
It's not our website.
That's called
PlayStationHeroKid.com.
Damn right it is.
Okay, that's pointless. Crystal follows the manga more closely, but it's 13 episodes per arc, so there's not really that much time to flesh out the characters and stuff. It's more beat by beat, follow the manga, fight the bad guys.
It's Dragon Ball Kai, isn't it?
I suppose that's a good comparison. I don't mind it. It's just that I didn't quite like the character designs in the first season because they were very uncanny valley. They had very long, skinny arms and long legs. Like they look like they're on stilts. What's going on? And they all have the same face as well. It's like apart from the hair, if you took the hair away from each character, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. But in the second one, they made it a bit more looser and took time to characterize the hero and the protagonist a bit more.
Okay.
Then apparently they're going to make a movie based in Sailor Moon Crystal, based on the fourth arc with the Circus from Outer Space. I don't know when they're making it though. Apparently it's in production at the moment, but that's about as far as it's gone so far.
Okay, well that's something to look forward to, I guess.
Well, for me anyway.
Not so much for me. Is there anything else you can tell us about Sailor Moon?
It's had a lasting legacy because it was made because originally the writer Naoko Takeuchi apparently when she wrote it she was in quite a bad spot at the time. I don't know the exact details. She might have been depressed. So I don't know the exact details of Takeuchi's state at the time she wrote Sailor Moon. But apparently she might have been depressed or she didn't have that many friends. So she wrote a story with people who she imagined as potential friends. And then obviously Sailor Moon took off, and now Naoko Takeuchi is considered one of the greatest manga writers of all time.
It's a happy ending for her then, I guess.
Yeah, it's a very happy. And the fact that her franchise has allowed the entire world to embrace the manga and anime industry, I think is wonderful. And kudos to her for creating such a very peculiar franchise, which you obviously find it to be, but it's considered one of the greatest in anime history.
It scares and confuses me.
But we're very glad it exists.
Yes, I suppose so, because it's one of those things that influences so many other people and brings such joy and wonder to people's lives. And oh god.
Oh god, what?
Kill a barrel!
No!
Kill a barrel!
Oh great. Selemon's going to fight. She's going to be fighting a rapping queen.
Kill a barrel! Kill a barrel!
Calm down.
Kill a barrel! I'm not going to do it now. Okay. Okay. Oh, well, thank you very much for this interesting history lesson, Mark. I do appreciate it.
You're just saying that even though you don't appreciate it. You're just gonna bang your head against the wall trying to figure it all out.
You're right, I don't appreciate it. This has been a massive pain in my brain.
We can talk about Bleach next time. All that consists of is sword fighting, backstory, flashbacks, and more fighting. And total destruction of its own continuity.
Oh, God. Right. Well, in that case, thank you very much. Oh, God. Thank you very much, Mark, for joining me today.
Yay! Nice to be here.
And before we go, Capers, we need to inform you, I'm sure some of you might know, but just in case you don't, the Place to Hang Your Cape TV Awards is on the horizon!
Ruby, vote for Ruby, I'm confiscate Ruby, vote for Ruby, vote for Ruby, vote for Ruby!
Ruby, She-Run, Winona Up, you better vote for all of these people, otherwise I'm gonna get angry. This is my year. No more will Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. take every single category.
It's gone for now. It's history. We're free.
Point is, we will be doing the Place to Hang Your Cape TV Awards live. Open quotes, finger marks, dabba dabba da. But before that happens, you capers can go to a Place to Hang Your Cape and vote for in your favourite categories for your favourite show. So get on there, do that, go vote, and otherwise you can't complain when your favourite show loses out. So we'll be doing
Ruby.
Vote for Ruby. Yes, vote for whoever you want, but vote for Ruby.
Yes, definitely. Vote for Ruby.
Yeah.
We'll force you. Do it. Do it. Do it.
It's entirely up to you. Who do you vote for? Vote for Ruby. And if you enjoy the show, Capers, please tell your friends, shout it from the rooftops! And if you haven't already, go back and listen to some of our other super episodes, like our History of Naruto episode. You can listen to the show on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, or at podcapes.com. We have a Patreon, check out the rewards, patreon.com/AP2HYC. If you want to get in touch with us, suggest show topics, or maybe come on the show yourself, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at AP2HYC, or email us at podcapers@AP2HYC.com. Thank you very much to Dan Harris for our logo, the lovely microphone with the red and blue 3D glasses, those are mine. And thank you for listening. This has been Podcapers, the official podcast for Place to Hang Your Cape. Cue the music!